Why are black people killing each other in the highest percentage than white people are killing white people? Of course, there are more white people killing death, more white victims in total numbers, slightly more, almost even. But when you figure that black people are about 14 or 15, they say between 14 and 20% of the U.S. population. And yet half of the murders, and those murders are by black. That is outrage. And I believe it's the cause of an occult practice. The Masonics practice occult behavior in their lodges, in the upper degrees. And in the Bible was a Masonic addiction. They're writing up the curse of black people in the Bible itself. It shows their evil deed. When you read an authorized version, and this is just authorized for the public, so you can imagine what the unauthorized version is. The secrets that hidden from the public. Now this is the Masonic edition of the King James Version. And if you notice, because they're responsible, King James was the Mason. So they're responsible for actually writing this book. And I don't know if I would, this is the light. It's called The Light of Masonry. See, this is the book, The Light of Freemasonry. So they are involved, and they divulge a lot of these secrets in the Bible. And now when you read Isaiah 19:2, it said, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Now who's that? That's a very big-headed scientists. They call God, that the Masons worship. And we are what's called the Egyptians, as we fled into West and other parts of Africa. Not only from Africa, we from the Asiatic countries like Iran, or Babylon, Samaria, too. They call that Asiatic countries because that's a misnomer. But we fled from those countries in the northeast corridor of Africa into the interior of sub-Saharan Africa and was shipped over here. So those are the curses. We are those people. Asiatic. It's still Africa, but they call it Asiatic countries. And we fled. And they still doing curses. And a God, that big-headed scientist, hoodoo man, called the big-headed man or the two-headed man, pronounced curses upon us. And they still performing that. But I am bursting those curses and the knowledge of it, exploding their lives and their endeavors. The very knowledge of it is damage done in their head. While they are damaging us in our heels, our weakness. That's why they say Achilles heel, our weakness. What's our weakness? It's 7 deadly sins: greed, hatred, jealousy, envy. Those things is our weakness that they are using against us in the occultic practices. So this is longer than I intended to be, because I have more to have to say about the cause of that. And just this knowledge of it is damaging, hitting them in the head, as they say, by the truth. And in a freakish, abnormal self, what they call Epstein, which was locked up, and they say he killed himself, Epstein. Weinstein, I believe he's still in prison, or even if Frankenstein. And they call that we are the children of Ham, which is called Egypt, the land of Ham, Egypt in the northeast corridor. And Africa's part of it. It's called the land of Ham. And they trying to disgrace us by naming hamburgers. Part of the pig, I believe ham is from. Hamburgers. So and even in their language itself, it's a spell against us. And they do their spelling, their very old language. But I'm exposing the truth. And that occult practice going back upon their own head, and they know that. Part of the Bible directed towards us, part of it directed towards them. And this is the longest I meant to do this video, but that's to bring out even those 4 facts, that they are practicing occult practices against us by their occult master, what they call God. That's the reason why a lot of the killing against each other. And as I said, we are just about between 14 and 20% of the population of the U.S. are committing about 50% of the murders, and mainly against each other. And I explained that who we are. We are Africans, but they're from the Asiatic countries, but it's spelling in the English mixes us up with what land we identify with what. Just like they have south is down and north is up. And they have the prime meridian going through London at 0 degree, which is a lie. Prime meridian could go over any. It's a circle. Since the Earth is a circle, it could go to any locations different than the equator. Equator is real between north and south because the magnetic needle go, I think, from right to left, south of the equator, and our hair, the very hair on our heads. If we are, for black people, we're part of nature, part of the universe, also twists from right to left, south of the equator, and north of the equator, go from left to right. The very hair on the head shows that we are part of nature. Caucasian people have limp hair, and it does not do that. The hair does not twist from right to left and left to right. according to where they are located at in the equator, to be a part of nature. Now I'm making this too long now. Too long. I have much more to say. But I'm going to kind of want to end this soon. And the truth is knocking them in the head. The very head, the truth. But they damage us in our hell, our killer's hell, our weakness. It's part of the 7 deadly sin. Lust is one of them. Lust, greed, envy, jealousy, gluttony, and the other couple of sins that I won't recall of now. That's our killer's hell. And the occult practice is ineffective now. It's ineffective. They have some real powerful magic from God. They master.